Previously on Roll Over and Die, footsteps can be heard rushing into the Oculus room as Chad heists the powerful crossbow. Meanwhile, both Mike and Parter shapeshift into versions of the female dwarf, Seren, in an attempt to calm things down. Unfortunately, the group of dwarves and Goliath shoot and kill Pret, Air's new mount, in retaliation. Meanwhile, back in Suttonshaw, Pip visits the only other diviner she knows, Tethys Darkplace, Professor Spine's distracted assistant, although Pip discovers he has an ulterior motive and puts him to sleep, ties him to a chair, and shoots him point blank with a longbow until he dies. That's everyone done with. We're ready to roll over and die. Right.
2 seconds before. So guys, we're gonna have to be quick because Zoom has a time limit. Then 2 seconds later. What?
So straight into, we'll go with Pip. You have now thrown on I assume you've thrown on the robes of the research department and have made your way out of Professor Spine's ex-quarters.
Yeah, I also cast Pass Without Trace on myself.
Yes, you did. And you rolled a particularly good stealth check, from what I remember.
I did.
So no one's specifically looking for you. There's no warning signs up, so I won't actually actively roll for anyone looking for you. And you can slip out of the university if you wish. About halfway into the interior of the UMA, looking for the exterior door, classes do start changing. So a bell goes off and students start pouring out of classrooms and into the corridors and exchanging between classes. You do see a familiar face, which was the illusionist professor that you first encountered when you all pretended to be illusions. But he doesn't see you. He's not looking for you. He just seems to wander off upstairs somewhere. You do make it outside, and you take a big breath of fresh air. But you have left a corpse with several arrows tied to a chair in Professor Spine's quarters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It.
Run! That wasn't me.
At this point, what would you like to do?
I think it's probably safest to just leave as quickly as possible. But at this point, I don't really know where I'm going because I seem to have burned all my bridges behind me.
I mean, you do have a few. Well, so you do have a few places to go. I was like, well, Nicky Knuckles is there's a corpse in there.
Yeah.
There's a corpse in the UMA. There's a corpse outside of the Dandy Sage. There's a lot of corpses around that you left in your collective wakes.
Yeah.
There's also those people that you killed in the marketplace.
Wait, I killed people in the marketplace?
They were succubi, but you did have a big brawl with demons in the marketplace.
And she does all the heavy lifting.
I just get rid of the problem.
And it's about this time that ringing in your ears are the warnings from Madame Elspeth about people looking for her. And now, I don't know, there's a lot of death that surrounds you in Suttonshaw.
Yeah, I feel like wherever I go, people are going to be looking for me. So can I... How much supplies do I have on me?
It should be on the character sheet, but at this point, I mean, you haven't bought anything new. So I'd say you've probably got about 5, maybe 6 days worth of rations on you.
Okay, I feel like that's enough to go quiet for a little bit. So I'm going to just... Did I bring my horse with me? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe you stabled your horse.
I'm going to go get
Clip-clop, yeah.
And we are going to head out into the wilderness and just get out and see and just try and lay low for a bit.
So there's 2 directions. Exactly. There are 2 directions you can go that you are familiar with, which is back north towards Madame Elspeth, where you just came from. There's back west towards the swamps where you're from, or you could try a random other direction.
I'm going to head into the swamps because no one knows I'm from there, and also I have pretty good swamp walking. What's that called?
Survival.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Or clip-clop.
Whereas
Swamping.
other people might not necessarily. Oh yeah, I probably can't take clip-clop into the swamps.
You can't
I've
take
got
it into the
never-ending.
swamps proper, but it'd take you a few days to get here.
Yeah,
So
I'll-
there are. Sorry, go, Josh.
I was just going to say, I've got that scene of Never-Ending Story.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah,
That's the first.
harsh.
That was the first film I ever cried at.
Hmm.
And only,
The second
obviously.
time that's come up in a short period of time on this show.
the first film I cried at was Chicken Run.
You're so young.
You're so young.
What part of Chicken Run did you cry?
Chicken Run was the first film I went to see in the cinema, and the man really scared me.
Mm.
And he made me cry.
You really are young. This is why we've only done 10%.
Because you talk about
Sorry.
Never-Ending Story.
You started it. You stopped the program.
Sorry.
Talk about it.
You see,
Swamp, go.
you see a halfling whistling and pulling at his braces and flipping a coin. You don't see that at all.
Yeah.
However, what you do see is about a couple of hours into your journey after you've left Sutton Shore, you hear over the rustling of the trees a psst, psst, hey, psst, hey, over here.
Do I listen to it? I probably do because I can't. Yeah, I'm like, "Psst, what?
Over here. We've been here for a while.
Who are you?
We met in the village. You asked for our help.
Did I
Can we
ask you?
carry on this conversation somewhere off the road?
It's our little ghost friend.
Ghost?
Yeah, the dead man and the ghost.
What?
From when we were with Johnny.
Oh,
Christ, that was a long time ago.
It's Christmas.
man, throwback. Do I
Took 6
recognize?
months.
Do I recognize who they are, Tim?
Yeah. Now that everybody else has told you who they are, yeah, you recognise them.
Okay, I'm gonna veer off the road and go and join them.
Okay, you have to dismount and walk clip-clop through the brush because there's no path here, so it becomes unstable for you to. At this point, it does come to my mind that does clip-clop need to be rolling Constitution saving throws whilst you're riding him?
No, because I'm fully decked out in clothes, so
Okay.
I've got my robe
That's fair.
on. I've
Yeah.
got my bandages on. So
Okay.
no
Cool.
skin on. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yeah. So you're not there's no actual contact with clip-clop. Yeah. So you're not accidentally rubbing an elbow on the back of his neck.
No skin on his back.
Yeah, I was trying to think the most innocuous parts of people's anatomy: elbow, neck. There you go, job done.
He loves an anatomy.
And
Clearly never had his elbow rub somebody's neck.
clearly, never will. Also, stay safe. Don't touch people.
Especially not next.
Yes, especially with
Don't
elbows.
touch people.
I don't think that's the. Yeah.
Stay at home. Don't touch
They
people's
say
necks.
don't
Stay
touch.
home. Don't touch necks. Protect the NHS.
Exactly. There you go. Save lives.
Keep it up to
So,
yourself.
talking of lives, you pull clip-clop through the underbrush, and you find that there is a well-worn campsite now, where someone's been living here for several days, and you see the familiar, visage of the two creatures that you first met.
Just going to go, well, where have you two been this whole time?
We told you when going to Sutton Shore, we had to lay low. We won't survive in Sutton Shore.
Oh, I almost didn't survive in Sutton Shore either.
Looking like this, we would have been killed on sight.
Like what?
So one of them looks dead, basically a living, walking, talking zombie, and the other one is kind of similar but different. It's difficult to pin. One does look very much like a walking corpse, but one of them looks checked out, constantly checked out. The walking corpse is the one that's talking to you.
Okay. I'm just. I'm really glad to see a familiar face, so I'm just gonna sit down with them and try and figure out a plan
Okay.
of how to get away from here.
He pours you some tea and hands over to you in a tin mug.
I do not drink it.
He sits it down on the stump next to you.
Thank you.
So where's the rest of them?
I mean, good question. I was hoping you could probably tell me, because like I assume by saying that you couldn't go into town and you'd still like help in some way, right? You wouldn't just sit and camp for a few days. So have you been like watching us or like trying to help us or?
We agreed to help you in a fight because we had no investments or we had no active kind of like participation in the fight with the Hydra. We felt we still owed you.
That's true. Well, you could help me by getting out of here unseen. You seem pretty good at that. You've not been seen by people in a while.
True. We are good at remaining hidden. Where do you want to go?
Good question. I would like to see my friends again, but I don't know where they are, so I'm just gonna hope that they're gonna make some noise soon. Like, you know, they can't really ever go anywhere without drawing attention to themselves, so
I see. Do you know who they are with?
no.
Do you have any personal effects of these people?
Do I? I probably do.
Starbucks.
I have, yeah, but would Starbucks count? Would that work?
Starbucks was a cocoon for Aya.
That's true. I have Aya's egg.
What's end up with an egg?
There's a pause, and then is that an item that she would be familiar with? An egg?
She was born in it, so normally you're quite familiar with the things you're born in.
He looks confused. But says,
I'm confused.
my companion can tell you where they are.
That would be handy.
Unfortunately, we can't get you there other than by conventional means.
Isn't it my lucky day? I have a way to get there if you have a way to tell me where they are.
Potentially, yes.
No, I do.
No, potentially we have a way of telling you where they are.
Oh. Do I have anything else? I don't have anything else of any of yours. Which is weird because we spent so long together. You would think that we'd...
I have these fond memories.
Yeah. I have this
Please take them.
raging, vendetta against them all for leaving me. Would that work?
I have crippling social anxiety now. I can't go anywhere.
Please take my abandonment issues.
It's
yeah,
real.
I'm going to give them the Starbucks and say that I really hope this works.
Okay. He takes it from you and he goes over to his companion, who is much like the same way that you first met him. Is just sitting on a log, staring into the smouldering embers of the fire, not talking, not moving, really. And he sets the Starbucks down at this person's feet, and then whispers something into his ear, and then steps away.
They're so in love. I'm inspired by their relationship.
There are so many like romantic entanglements in this that you see. Yeah.
Only
There's
she's
Liam and Keith, was it?
Ed.
Ed, sorry.
So much fan fiction.
Keith.
Keith is in your brain. Tim.
I don't know who Keith.
He's the ex.
Oh, yeah, some backstory there. Anyway.
Drama.
Read my fan fiction, Josh.
Yeah, did you read her fan fiction?
Mm-hmm.
You had two Goliaths and a dwarf. It was a love triangle that nobody ever expected.
Hey, it's not as good as when we wrote Gandalf and Dwight Schrute.
That is very true. That was very revolutionary.
Also, was the two Goliaths and the dwarf like the progenitor to two men and a baby?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, as he steps back and gives you like a look, as if to say, give him some time. Minutes turned into tens of minutes, which turns into an hour, and eventually he leans down and picks up the Starbucks and starts turning it over in his hands. You can't really see what's going on. He's got his cowl pulled up and blanket wrapped around him, so it hides majority of his like facial features. But a few minutes later, he'll put down the Starbucks. At this point, they'll rejoin, and the one that's been talking to you will lean down with his ear, and there's just a very soft whisper that you can't hear. And he nods.
I'm watching intently because I'm very invested in their relationship.
Okay. He stands back up, comes over to you and says, we have a location.
Where is it?
It's at the foot of the Shatter Mounts.
That can't be right. There's no way they would have got there in that time.
He shrugs.
Doesn't give a shit.
Great. Okay. I mean, I have no reason to not believe you. You've helped me so far, and I also have nowhere else to go. So the Shatter Mountains are quite far away, right? That gets me away from here.
There are hundreds of miles in the snow-capped peaks of the Shatter Mounts. Near the
Snow.
crater.
I've never seen the snow before. That would be nice. Can I take a horse with me if I use a rune? And I show them the spell.
Yeah, so you unfurl the scroll, and yes, you can take more than the creatures that are here.
Great.
So, yeah,
Would
it's
you
just creatures.
guys like to come? You probably would like the snow. It's very romantic to be together.
Up to the rot as well.
I believe this fulfills our promise to you.
Oh, I thought we were friends though. Have I misread this? Like I thought we were hanging out. You guys helped me. We'd go on a journey together.
He reaches into his belt and produces like a carved wooden, what looks to be like a horse to your eyes, but the horse has got a much, much longer neck, and it's also got like 2 bumps on its back.
So a camel.
Yes, but you won't know what a camel is, so I was describing it to you in a way that Pip would see it.
You got that really
I
quick.
definitely didn't have a camel in my back.
No,
In my mind.
Yeah.
me.
I had a very weird shaped
I
horse
was
with boobs
Joshua.
on its back.
What we have to do is reorientate them by like 90 degrees, and you've got a camel. Anyway, so he hands you this like wooden ornament and says, "We are friends, but also my companion here needs to fulfill a particularly pressing desire."
Say no more. Say no more.
I don't know. Okay.
No,
I consciously like lean into these things. I think sometimes.
It was just the pauses. You paused at
To
the
know
perfect
what I
time
was
to make
saying.
it.
Totally get it.
It's urgent.
You can call on me. However,
With this camel?
next time we see each other, I doubt very much my companion will be here.
Oh,
That's really sad. Where will he be?
dead.
Yes, he'll be dead.
Well, how about once your companion has fulfilled his desires, and you are, struggling alone, why don't you come and join us? There's always room for one more in our gang.
This is why you have this.
Okay.
You can contact me. It's a familiar piece of iconography that you can contact me through, either by
What does that
message
mean?
or by scribe.
How does it work?
Yeah. How do I do it? Like, do I just like wish on the camel?
Rub his humps.
You rub the humps.
If you know a magic user, you'll use this familiar icon to contact me via message or sending or scrying
Got
or
it.
teleportation.
Got it. Is there anything else I can do to help you fulfill your desires? Can I,
It's
before I
a,
go,
lo- it's,
do
a
you want
lo-
me to?
it's a lonely path we both must walk.
I got it. I'll see you soon then. I'm gonna go. I'll leave you with one last piece of advice. You should just tell him you love him, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. Embrace it. He's not going to be around for much longer. Life is fleeting.
I'm dead.
I get it. I know. Like, that was so emotional. I'm dead as well. Like, ugh.
I'm a ghost occupying a corpse.
Yeah, same. I completely relate to
No,
that.
I'm literally a ghost. I'm a corpse.
That's ghosts can love as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's also dead.
Ghosts can love as well. You should open up to him. He'd probably appreciate it.
Love knows no bounds.
Love blows no bodily bounds.
Have you not seen Ghost?
Oh.
Him definitely.
Don't roll the tape. Don't roll the tape.
Roll
no,
the
no, no. Don't. I will kill air if you do this.
That was a
Quite a
threat.
threat.
That was a threat. Do it.
Well,
Anyway.
Enough about me. It's all about you.
So-
I'm going to leave these two to their ghostly desires. I'm going to
Sure.
wish them well.
Mhm.
I'm going to shout out to the other guy. Thanks for your help. Good luck. Whatever you've got to do, just work it out between yourselves, you know?
Mhm.
And then I'm going to go and get Clip Clop and go hopefully meet my friends.
So you unfurl the scroll. You place one bandaged hand on the bridle of Clip Clop, and you read the incantation. And you start seeing like a myriad of like rainbow lights, like yellows, purples, blues, reds, greens, all those other colours,
When your eyes are closed.
going in front of your face, like falling like rain, but falling so fast it does that kind of motion, like effect. They're falling so fast that it starts going back up again, but slowly, and everything, all the environment around you disappears. And you start feeling a bit woozy, like travel sick, and dizzy, and then suddenly you feel like cold beneath your feet.
I'm in the
So we're going to go transition over to the rest of you.
I want to transition like you just described.
Indeed,
It made me feel dizzy.
yes, indeed, as it should. So you are currently conversing with the dwarfs and Goliaths of the House of Sin.
See,
Mm.
fanfiction is writing
did we-
itself.
Did we get our stuff back?
Yes, they have furnished you with all of your
Furnished
effects. And in fact, some of you, I'm not pointing any fingers, stole some additional equipment.
Oh.
But yes, you have all of your personal effects back, including your arm blades and your dumbbell. So everyone can cast spells as per usual. You've got your armor and arms back.
I can't.
Can I
believe
make
what-
myself a little pet?
Yes. Yeah, you just take 10
Doomed.
minutes and a
It's only gonna
sandwich, and you can do it again.
Yeah.
A
What
doomed
would you
pet?
like to cast?
Okay. So I'm gonna stick to my allocated half.
You don't want a sassy spider.
No, I don't want any more weird experiments with.
But it was fun.
with
It was rolling like it was
Yeah,
quite
it was
powerful,
fun.
and like roll a d6 and found out like what his damage was.
what was wrong with him?
Charisma.
He was uncharismatic.
Yeah, that's what the d6 was for.
He was just sassy.
not his
That was
fault.
only
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. I will make.
You
more
could have had like a
experiments.
super weak mount. You could have had like a super lumberous mount. You could
I
have
would have
had
liked the
a
lumberous.
really, really dumb mount. frail
I
mount.
probably. I mean, whatever I would have got, it would have died a painful death. So.
Yeah.
One
Just keep it
that
to
is a
things you
half.
can't get like attached to. Yeah, ones that are
Oh.
half that you could feasibly ride as a very
So
large
large.
paladin.
Under large beast, there's a thing called jaguli.
Mhm.
And when I googled it, it was like a weird dragon that doesn't have any legs, and it was basically a snake but with a cool head. Oh, I want that to live with me.
How do you spell it?
It's JA, and then it's either a C or a G because it's a funky font, and then it's ULI.
Okay.
It doesn't say what
No
it
idea
does or what it is on D&D Beyond, but when I
Okay.
googled it, it looks like 1,000 different weird things, and I want to know what you think it is. What
All
comes
right.
out of it.
That's fair. While I'm looking this up, rather than like all of you waiting for me to find out what the hell a jukuli is, what is everybody else doing?
Well, now that I got my dumbbell back, I want to cast a wave for Pip to get back, not knowing that she's on the Bifrost.
I'm glad you got the reference.
Yeah, I got it. Every time.
Yeah. So you can cast. Is that a spell you cast, or is that as a ritual? It will say like
It's a spell I cast. It's
Okay.
Galder's Speedy Courier.
So before you do that, you probably will have to construct the things that you need to place inside the box.
Yeah, I'll have to write a note,
So
which is going to be more than get in box love Chad this time.
Yeah, tell me what the note says.
Get in box. Trust me. Follow Chad the fourth senior junior. Don't pick up note.
I was going to say that's
Love Chad.
Okay.
Probably should have led with that, if anything.
Probably should have led with that. Yeah. I cross that out or draw an arrow to the top.
Okay. And I need you also to remind me what. Well, I suppose how big the chest is.
It was I can't remember what we decided last time, but it was big enough to fit Pip.
So what? 3 foot by.
Pip, how tall are you?
3 foot.
Yeah,
Right.
so 3 foot by 3 foot.
Tiny.
3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just a
perfect
2-dimensional
cube.
plane.
It's a perfect cube.
A perfect cube of 3 by 3 by
Yeah.
3.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to do something. It's going to be a persuasion check, specifically for writing.
For my handwriting?
Well, less about your handwriting, but it does also encompass handwriting, but also like how persuasive the note is.
I really love that the one time that I've rolled well, like in this entire game, is for a crossbow that I had to give up the next episode because I just rolled a 3, so I got 4 total.
4 total. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Interesting. All right. Cool. That's you and Aya done. Parter and Mike, can we just go to you now, please?
Can we move on quickly?
During our recap, Annie, I've just had a thought. Those guys in that square.
Yeah.
This is me trying to use my brain.
This is Josh staying alert.
Oh yeah.
I had the question
That's a
marks
really
back.
good client.
I'm engaged. I'm with the story.
Yeah.
Those people that charmed us had that thing that we've got. So I think we need to find out more.
Succubi.
The vampires.
Succubi. Yeah.
Yeah, succubi and the incubi.
The brother and sister vampires.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two
They had
demons.
They had the thing.
Yep.
Incest.
They were branded. They didn't actually have anything on them, but they had it branded, like scarred on their chest.
I really think we should find out a little bit more about these. Why people are wearing them, where they're coming from, what they mean, what we're doing with it. Why do we put it on? Who are we? Why are we here? Where are we going? Who are you?
Why am I so cold?
Why am I so cold?
Watch the sting
Where's
on my
my
foot. Is
swamp?
it going to get any better, or do I have to keep scratching it?
I really want some tar.
Why am I not in any of these questions? I'm meant to be a friend.
So where's Pip?
Where is Pep?
I genuinely hate you all. Sleeping and forgetting about me.
Potter, wouldn't it be funny, Potter, if you're talking to the OG dwarf woman thinking it's me?
Yeah.
I'm doing exactly that.
Because while you're doing that, I changed back to the little 7-year-old girl.
Okay.
I remember when they brought us to this room, I asked if specifically for ale. So I think it's hilarious that I'm a 7-year-old girl drinking as much ale as I can.
It's like
did not
quaffing
question
it
that,
from
really.
big, like wooden tankards. So there's a collection. There's a circle, as much of a circle that can be completed with the collection of Chad, the OG dwarf woman, and Aya. Aya, how do you respond to Parter? Kind of have a little bit of a breakdown.
Can I respond, or am I concentrating on making a weird creature?
No, you can like comment whilst you're doing it. It's fine.
Okay. Try not to throw up.
It feels a bit tight to be able to throw up right now, but I might faint. Just a bit confused. I don't know what to do.
We're pretty much the safest we've been in a while. So
You haven't
maybe
got this around your neck.
maybe let's go see if they've got at least the ingredients for a lemon tart. And then maybe that'll help.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop everybody there. Several things happen at the same time. I just want to set the scene. You're kind of in a mess hall, and there is a big, long table divided into two halves. So it's just like one giant, probably about 24-foot long table. And the first 12 feet, the benches are, a height of about maybe a foot or foot and a half off the floor. And then the second half of the table, they're about 3 foot off the floor. So the benches just
That's so
up
cute.
themselves, as does the table itself, just straight up. You're sitting at probably the easier to access the foot and a half table. You've got the 7-year-old Mike sitting on the corner with a big wooden tankard of ale. You're just quaffing it, drinking it down. And there's a couple of dwarfs sitting near each other, away from you, enough that they can talk freely, but also giving you a side eye. But not like a, who's this, but more like a, respect kind of thing. Then there is the collection of Chad, Mike, Parter, and Aya and the OG dwarf, all within 5 or 10 feet of each other. About the time that Chad has finished scrawling on a piece of paper, summoning this invisible air, mephit, elemental, placing it into this floating chest, which is garnering quite a lot of attention from both the Goliaths and the dwarves.
Think about it.
And you just open it up, creak, pop it in, creak, down, and it disappears in a mini tornado of wind. Just messes up everybody's hair, but not Chad because he has no hair. Just quills, I guess.
My lips.
Your lips. Okay.
Are we drawing attention to ourselves so much?
Sorry.
Indeed.
It's my fault.
So about this time, you, Aya, finish your spell. And there's a pressure wave coming from beneath you. All of the flagstones that you're standing on, all the dust starts rising and coalescing. And it starts slithering as if there was a waveform, like a sine wave, between you and the rest of everybody else. And it starts coalescing, and more of this dust starts forming into this beast. And not only that, it starts emanating its own light from inside itself. And these plates, these jagged plates, almost like knives on the side of its torso, starts coalescing. They're all black and grey, but the segments in between each one of them are emanating this bright orange light. And it does very much look like as if Costa and Nero had a baby, and a snake crocodile appears with these burning, just white hot coals for eyes. And a constant stream of ash is pouring out of its mouth, and it just comes to rest, and it doesn't even look at you. It just settles on the floor between everybody else. At relatively the same amount of time that this happens, that you're summoning your mount, you've de-summoned this method from the corner of the room, away from everybody else. This circle of just shards of light appear, almost like a disco ball, projecting all of this myriad of different colours all over the room. And you hear the sounds of as if someone's throwing a constant stream of glass against a stone wall. And you have to shield your eyes from the intensity of the light. And as you turn back, what is left in this column that has been created, standing in it like a Terminator summoned from the future. It's Pip. And just before you can even say anything to Pip, you haven't seen her for many days, although it hasn't felt that long because you've all lost many, many days. But at the same time, this crate falls at your feet, Chad. Heavily at your feet.
No.
That's a lot happening.
As I arrive, I just go, fuck me, and I throw up everywhere.
It's a technical yawn all over the floor. And from the crate itself, you just hear a light knocking.
Don't open it.
Oh my gosh. But also, hi.
I open the box.
You open the box.
I open the box.
Recreate the first video.
So, first things first, Pip, if you don't have inspiration, I would like you to take inspiration.
For throwing up, yes.
Yes, mostly for like experiencing such a high-level spell that your character wouldn't have experienced before, and then having like an appropriate like narrative response to it.
I am inspired.
Yes, and at the same time that Chad throws open the box, inside you find curled up in the fetal position a figure dressed in a dull grey cloak.
Close the box.
Okay, you close the box. A few seconds later, the lid of the box slowly starts opening.
Well, I assume that now my spell, whenever I cast Galder's floating speedy courier,
Sure.
that a Bifrost and a big crocodile dragon appear because it was a successful spell. So, assuming that everybody else is occupying themselves and I've got this gray figure coming out of the box, I'd like to cautiously let it open the box.
Okay. It kind of like slithers out of a crack.
Oh, wait, no, it slithers.
It's no more than probably about 12 inches.
No, I don't want that.
And lands like prone, all fours on the floor. Still draped in this ratty grey cloak. And then slowly extends itself to its full height. And as it does, you can just hear its bones cracking. Like,
It's the zombie.
Did you
and
summon
to the full
Voldemort
height.
before?
Yeah, I want to put it back in the box and close the box.
You actively try and grab it.
I'm going to actively try and grab it.
Okay,
Yeah.
roll a... I need you to do a...
I don't know if I'm going to put it back in the box yet.
Athletics check to grapple it.
Leo,
Ryder?
throw a blanket on it. Throw a blanket on it.
Yeah.
It's already got a blanket on it. It already has a blanket on it. I don't know what to do.
Has no effect. Remember, now you've got your wand of the Swole Mage, you have advantage on athletics checks.
I'm just going to see if there's anything else that I can do to prevent this weird little thing.
Okay.
What did I summon on accident?
It could be really cute.
I don't like it. Okay. There's nothing else that I'm going to do just yet, but with my athletics, I got a 25.
Okay, you fold them in half like a piece of paper.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to kill it. I just want to hold it.
Oh, you just want to hold it. Okay.
Spider.
You embrace it. You can feel that, despite its frame, and it is as soon as you grab it, it is very bony. Whatever's underneath this cloak, you do hold it close, but it's got an unnatural strength.
You're just cuddling it.
You're just holding it. What's up?
I don't want to hold it close to me. I want to hold it out because I don't know what this is.
Then you're pinning its like upper arms against its torso, and you're just holding it in place. But you do feel, like it just feels like sagging skin over bone. And you press it against his own ribcage, and with your thumbs and even probably like your two middle fingers, you can feel like the back of the ribs as well.
Be gentle with it.
What's his face?
You can't see because the cowl is still down.
I feel like I want to put it. Yeah. So is it facing me or is it facing away?
It's facing you currently.
I don't like this.
Do you
I-
just like
I don't-
flick it like, whoosh, and then
Can
like,
you
the cowl
control
comes
your
off?
Can you control your tail? Like, could your tail come up over the top and
Of
just
course, I can control my tail.
It is
doesn't
prehensile.
control itself.
just do that like a third arm? I was about to say fifth arm.
Yeah, like your fifth arm.
Kind of is. I do want to know what's under this, but I don't want it to eat my face.
The risk we all face.
That's every day.
So whilst you're deciding on what to do, I think we'll pause and just go back
no.
to everybody else and see, like,
I'm so scared.
Aya, you now have this creature at your feet, and it pauses for a few seconds and then starts moving. When it does, it sounds like the clacking of teeth if it were rolled against stone, as it just clicks and clackers across the stone floor and starts curling up around your feet. You can feel how hot it is as well, even through your armor.
I would like to pet it.
Okay.
And then I would like to turn and then double take at the pip operation.
Yeah.
And kind of look a little bit like it might be an illusion.
When you pet it, it's as if you're running your gauntleted hand over a bunch of like 80-degree frying pans, all like nested together. You just run your hand across it. It's just hot to the touch, and doesn't feel. You don't feel like it can feel your touch. Like it doesn't. You don't think it's got any like nervous system on the exterior. Like it's got a chitinous shell.
But you can feel the kindness.
The gesture's there. It can see you because it's got two big black orbular eyes with these white hot coals in the side of it, like at the side of its head. And so when you have to crouch, you have to squat down to stroke it. It can see you, but the eye itself doesn't move. It also doesn't blink.
It's weird.
And as your gauntlet hand goes across it, it just makes that clink, 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 clink sound as you go over its scales.
Another beautiful, misunderstood, unreal creature. I slip it a snack from the table.
You'd also would know, because it's your spell, that this is the same creature that you've summoned, but in different guises. It's died
so many times.
under your tutelage. It's died horribly 3 times, one by your own hand.
When I summoned it as an uncharismatic spider, it was just feeling a little bit pissed at me for the last death. Is that
when you summoned it back, you summoned it with like an affliction. You summoned it with an affliction.
Partially summoned it.
Yeah.
it's me.
So you brought it back with like a condition, and it knows this.
It didn't want to be brought back.
I'm gonna telepathically. Why won't you let me die? I'm gonna telepathically ask it if it likes being a weird dragon snake hybrid.
It doesn't answer, but what it does do is starts slithering under the table. I imagine Mike probably doesn't actually have much of a reaction to this, but certainly the dwarves that were sitting near Mike just immediately jump up from the benches. Like they grab their drinks as they jump up, spitting a little bit, and they just go, "Oh, what the fuck!" As this giant segmented creature just like slithers underneath the table and is gone from sight.
Okay.
He's gone off site.
The same.
Yeah, it's just hiding underneath the table.
I would like to do 2 things. I would like to send. I'm going to call this one, even though it's the same one, Moksha.
Okay.
Shout out to the Brighton coffee chain.
Shout out to very niche coffee shops as we run out of other names.
We love him.
You do. It's very good.
Call him Greg.
Call him Old Greg.
That's worse than just letting him die. I'm going to send him to
Hell.
inspect
Oh.
Pip.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
3 times, Tim. She's done
Very
it 3 times.
suspicious. You didn't come out of the box. Something crazy came out of the box, and now you've appeared in a halo of light. And I would also like to use my divine sense to see if anything is funky.
What does your divine sense tell you?
It tells it detects good and evil. Until the end of the turn, you can sense anything that is. I'm sorry, half the screen's just gone.
So it can tell you if half the screen is gone. Okay.
It's
So
really good at that.
currently in this this dwarven medieval stronghold, there are no half screens. Be glad to hear.
I know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover, and I know the type of any being, but not its identity.
So the type.
And I can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell.
Oh, interesting. Within 60 feet. So two things ping off your senses. The first one is 10 feet away from you. There is now a revenant in your mix.
A what?
A revenant.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
A revenant, what? Yes. Someone's being mauled by a bear in front of me. No. This grey-cloaked creature that's come out of the box is an undead thing that has been brought back, mostly because what you know about revenants, because you are celestial and a paladin, and this is kind of intrinsic to your makeup, almost like genetically infused in your biology. A revenant is something that has been killed in life so violently and possibly even betrayed in such a way that the gods have seen fit to bring it back, restore it to life or unlife, with one sole purpose in mind, which is to exact revenge on the thing that murdered it.
I really hope it's not the man I murdered.
That's there. The second thing is that there is a room. It is not this room. Somewhere within 60 feet that's been desecrated.
What does desecrated mean?
It means there's been an active and conscious decision to defile a religious area.
Right.
Okay.
In some form or another.
Okay. I make a mental note to ask the cleric dudes about that. But for now, I would like to approach Pip and blindly hug her, even though it's a detriment to my consciousness.
So as you hug her, she's just standing up from retching on the floor. You have to kind of do the whole thing that's like stepping over a pile of sick.
To my consciousness and hygiene.
Yes, but yeah, you two can embrace.
I'm just going to break down in tears and start crying and mumbling words about how you left me and how I've been alone and how I had to kill people and how I'm really scared, and I just don't stop crying.
So Pip, for you, it's been about 6 days. For everybody else, it's been about 2.
What?
Yep.
We've been
everybody apart from Pip has lost 4 days.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah, I'm confused as to the overreaction.
Get it together.
But I'm happy.
Okay, I'm confused and offended about why they've not missed me more. I'm like, it's been so long, and I don't know why you haven't looked for me.
They're like, we saw you day before yesterday.
I feel like that's exactly what you're going to be like when we're back in the office.
Yeah. Why did you never
Why haven't you missed me more?
We spoke to you every day.
I'm gonna, as I'm hugging you, I've picked you up slightly from the ground, and I'm slowly walking backwards towards the rest of the group as you're mumbling and crying, and then just put you down.
He's my new friend.
So I need Chad to roll another athletics check with advantage.
It's a good thing there's an advantage because that was a natural 1.
Oh.
16.
16 is not enough.
What?
As you are compressing this creature, it feels like it maybe has been lulling you into a false sense of security. And suddenly, rotates its shoulders and cracks its bones and pushes your arms away and just grabs you by both forearms and then pushes your grasp open and steps back. It's now free of
Yes,
your
yes.
grasp.
Can I have an action?
Yes.
Kick it.
I'm gonna cast shrink.
Okay. Fuck's sake. What is your DC?
DC is enlarge, reduce.
Is your save DC is 12?
Sorry. Yes. 12.
Ugh. Okay. As you as you cast Reduce it before it can commit another action, it is half
What is
the
this?
height it used to be. In one
What
thing.
is this little monster?
It goes from like a sort of a hunched 5.5 foot thing to something that's just below 3 feet. So it's even smaller than Pip.
Okay.
That's a
but it
revenant.
doesn't seem to react. Like it doesn't seem to be bothered that it's tiny now. And
Okay, but it's
it just stays. It stays in place.
It's under 3 feet?
Yeah.
Can I put the box on top of it?
Correct.
Because the box is 3
Oh,
feet by 3 feet by
no.
3 feet.
When you turn to get the box has disappeared. Your spell is
Wow.
done.
How did this happen?
You did it.
It's
Who
your
did
spell.
this?
It's your spell.
You
What
did
about
the
your bag of
spell, and
Would
Also,
do this?
you brought something back from that has been violently murdered and invited it into a
What I
bunch
did?
of
What?
clerics' house.
All right. Well, Chad the Fourth, Senior, Junior is getting a stern talking to after this.
Wouldn't it be Chad
Uh,
the second senior junior?
That's not how family trees work, Tim.
No, but you're Chad the third junior. But if you're Chad
Yeah.
the senior junior, it'll be Chad the second senior junior.
No, it's Chad.
Because
the
senior
Fourth,
adds another
Senior,
one onto it,
Junior.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Senior, Junior makes him Chad the Fourth. So he's of the fourth lineage of the Chad wizard family.
I
So
don't think
he's-
that's how that works.
He's an offspring of Chad the Third. What is this little horrible monster?
I don't know, but it's an affront to my very being for it to exist here. So
I know, but now
maybe-
it's small, so you can smash it.
Are we,
Uh,
can I have permission to kill your new friend?
Pip.
He's not my friend.
Pip.
Why-
you
why-
recognise the minute character now that Ao has carried you over. It is, you literally saw it about 10 seconds ago.
It's not my
It's the
friend.
vacant guy.
Yep. The one
guy.
The
that,
vacant.
the silent one.
I'm like,
It's the vacant
buddy, how did you get here? Did I bring you with me?
It doesn't answer.
Where's your friend? Where's your companion?
Did you write him friendly in your fanfic?
Oh shit! We brought the one that can't speak.
It sits down and cross-legged on the floor.
What are you
It
doing?
leans forward, but it is 3 feet tall. So now
Well, we
it's
know
like a
he can-
foot and a half.
We know he can read because he read my perfectly articulated note.
True.
Yes. Which it rolled less than your persuasion check on. And so took it literally, climbed into the box and transported itself there because that's where Pip was.
He's doing exactly what I wanted to do. My plan was before I picked up Pip and moved her, I was going to bring over my ale and then one for Pip. And I was going to give one to Pip and then I was going to go sit cross-legged on the floor looking at the snake crocodile creature under the table and be like, I am obsessed while drinking my ale, sitting cross-legged on the floor.
You
So
can
now
now
Oh,
literally
good
do that.
plan.
well, no, instead of going to Pip and giving Pip the ale, I want to put this ale down on the floor next to our new dead friend, look at Pip and go, nice seeing you, and sit cross-legged, not next to him, just near enough him, because now I'm obsessed with him.
Didn't we all meet them though?
Yeah.
Surely
Yeah,
we'd
we did.
recognise him.
Yeah, but
Not
he's-
really. You didn't really like. I'm kind of giving this I gave you a similar description now as I did then, and it's been this similar amount of time that you've seen them.
I'm just really glad that it's not Thaddeus come to haunt me. So I'm gonna.
Or Thaddeus, or Tethys.
Yes.
All the other people that we've killed.
All of those people that you've
you look like you've had a long journey. Here, have some ale. That will perk you up, please. Says the 7-year-old girl.
So I'm looking around. And I'm like, okay, Chad, Aya, Parter, and I just burst out crying again and go, Aya didn't make it, did she?
Aya didn't make it.
Hold on, I didn't make it, did she?
She's so confused. Sit
I'm
down.
so
Pip.
confused. I've been on a journey.
Pip, Pip, it's me.
I don't
Joanne.
even
You told-
know what light looks like anymore.
So, do you mind explaining what the hell is going on with what this big snake monster and also this rattly little man and this frog creature is summoned?
Who are you?
My name is Otten Urkgut, and who the hell are you?
These are my friends, not your friends. Don't get that confused.
Oh, don't worry, lassie. I didn't say they were my friends either.
Oh.
Hey. We're friends, OG. We've bonded. We've all been.
That's not OG. You're not talking to OG.
I look at OG and I go, "Hey, OG." We're friends.
Dad got a goat gun.
Huh?
Everyone's like,
What?
The goat gun.
Chad had. I've lost my voice completely now. Chad had a
Pat is
goat
losing
gun.
it as well.
He found. It's the Scottish accent. You've completely put me off.
Sorry
Chad
there, laddie.
had a gun that shot goats. He found it.
Gun.
We had a fight.
Oh,
Crossbow.
did he now? I think you'll find that's locked back up in our munitions cabinet. You stole that
feel
from
like
us, you wee little thieves.
Are they talking shit now?
Wee
Are we
little
about to get in a fight?
Roll for initiative.
You threw us in jail, so we just trying to defend ourselves.
Yeah, we did throw you in jail because you got these demonic symbols around you.
They're
Nick.
not ours. They're not ours. We've
And
told
the
you
people
this
that gave you
before.
those have been
This.
killing us.
I just
For
No wonder would he put you in jail.
Guys, calm down. I've just got back. I've just seen my friends again. Can you not let us have one nice reunion without starting a fight?
Not when they're summoning demonic fucking snakes and
He does that all the time.
toad creatures from the
angelic.
netherworld. And
Don't
also
worry.
this weird tiny little bone creature on our floor.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
Bye, Daddy.
That's something they do. Like
Is this-
you get used to it after a while.
How would you feel if a bunch of strangers came into your cabin and just started summoning a whole bunch of shite all over your floor?
I mean, after the week I've had, I'd probably go, of course, another thing.
Yeah.
Summoning shit.
In the kind
everywhere
of
else.
last few fucking decades that we've had where all of my friends have died.
Hey, Otter,
I don't
Gutter,
like this.
Gutter, whatever your name is. Remember, there's kids here, okay? Please, can you refrain from swearing?
Sorry, but you're just about the same size as one of us.
Who, me? I'm a child.
Derogatory towards yourself.
Also,
watch your fucking
I've
mouth.
literally seen you turn from one of us into one of you.
You have not literally seen that.
Aye. When you said you walked into here, you turned from the OG dwarf into tiny
I
little girl.
forget.
we bien.
I love that she calls it that as well.
I forget I said that. Long story short, Pip, we woke up in jail cell because these people had locked us up. There was water, there was a huge creature. I think Josh is worried that his cat's been sick again. And they
No
Okay,
context
he
on this
hasn't.
video.
we woke up in water, there was a big creature, and then we managed to escape. Here's my new friend, Gentle Car.
Why were you in jail?
Where's Renault?
We woke up in jail.
We were on a boat. We fought a crab.
Renault's not here.
When did you get on a boat?
Just after we put you in a bath, we were helping our new friends, and then the boat just got transported, and we woke up in jail.
You left me on purpose. I thought something terrible had happened, but you got on a boat.
Something terrible did happen.
Something terrible happened. Crabs happened.
We were crabs.
I don't respond because all this time I'd been worried that my friends had been kidnapped.
Pep.
We were.
We
We saw
were.
you
Prison.
yesterday morning.
Crab
What
fight.
I've learned
Yeah.
is that they willingly got on a boat to leave me in a bath.
We went to go rescue some of our friends, and Nikki's husband went home to look after you, so you were being looked after. How is he doing?
Guess who's dead now?
Did you kill him?
Guess who's dead? How? Yeah. What? What?
I don't know. I woke up. You were gone. People were dead. I met Elspeth. She's dead. I went and met.
Elspeth's dead?
No, I met Professor Spine. She's dead. I met Elspeth. She's gone. I met Thaddeus.
Tethys.
Tethys. I met Tethys. He's dead. Who
Somehow.
knows how? I don't. I had no hand in it. He's dead. Things have
So
happened.
there's a lot of
my
people dead. What did you get out of it? What did you find
A horse. Clip clop.
Oh,
Clip clop. Clip clop.
Yeah, there is a full 18-hand
Yeah.
horse I appeared with.
We all turned to it.
Ah,
Teenagers.
Hey.
it's just
Is-
I don't know, doing horse things in the corner.
Good
Bando
to just
is on his
listen to
back.
all this.
Yeah, weren't the dwarves about to start some shit? And also, I'm still mad at this weird little bone
Daddy.
creature.
I
It's,
think this is the
Jim.
pre-story to Bone Daddy,
Big
and
brother Jim.
that episode is later
In the future?
His cloak and his skin falls off in the future.
So something very sexy happens to him in the present.
Something
Spoilers.
very sexy should happen to him.
Spoiler alert.
You separated him from his boyfriend.
Hang on,
He's
get
now
your
gone
camel.
forward by himself.
Easy. Get your
What
camel, rub the
are you
humps.
talking about?
Get your camel, rub the
So I
humps,
get-
bring him here.
I get out my camel.
those humps,
How do you know about
those
the
lovely camel humps.
I'm
anyway.
gonna get out my camel and say, "Can anyone bring back?" his
As,
person?"
as you proffer the wooden animal to everybody else in a vague attempt to summon something or someone, three individuals enter the room. There is two dwarfs and a Goliath.
Oh, that's the other fan fiction.
The dwarfs, the one dwarf that seems to be in front and in the lead, is wearing a mixture of bronze and steel plate, or full plate armor, and is carrying at her waist a large warhammer, and she's being flanked by a dwarf that has a fiery red beard and long fiery red hair that is covered in black half plate. And the Goliath to her side is heavily scarred on one side of his body. And as they walk in, she scans the room, and the dwarfs that have been talking shit immediately shut up and stand up and leave their ales where they are. So, my name is Demental Deepchest. I understand that... Shut up.
So Demi Deep Chest.
I mean, I was going to call her Denise.
Don't write that down. You're not going to forget that.
Her name was
Deep
Denise.
chest.
Denise Deep Chest.
Yeah.
Deb.
So, what? Hey, you all.
Giggling in
Hey, you
character.
all. Are you?
Yeah.
My name is Chad Longtail.
Very well. Well met, Chad Deep Chail. What are your other friends' names?
Change it.
I am Pip Short Frog.
I'm
Uh,
Parter the Clueless.
So, Peep, Short Frog, and the clueless one. What are you doing in my stronghold? Yeah, arrested you because you had
Yeah,
the mark.
you-
Swamp.
I'm Mike Smallkid.
Aye, my small kid.
My name's already a pun. I don't know what to do.
I would also ask myself. I would also like to know what we're doing in your. What did you call it?
Swamp.
Swamp. What are we doing in your swamp, Deep Chest?
So, what are you doing in my fortress?
Yeah.
I
What
don't-
what are we doing in your?
You
fortress?
appeared in a room bearing the marks of our enemy. Now, my generals tell me that, in fact, you're not our enemy, but have been marked through ignorance.
Sounds about right. I mean, I wasn't there, but it sounds like something they would do.
We're very ignorant.
No, we've furnished you back with your effects. However, we do have a little bit of a conundrum. A conundrum being, we seem to have a common enemy. You have been killing the very creatures that have been attacking us. I want to
You're gonna
know.
have to be
Specifically.
more specific.
So, the things that, the necklaces that you've put around your very being have been attacking us also. So it seems that we have a common enemy.
An enemy.
Is it the Shutton Shore Sharks?
I don't know
Really
who
died.
the Sutton Shore Sharks are.
There are enemies.
Then, if they are the creatures that wear this triangular necklace or brandishes these irons, then we have a common enemy.
They're monsters.
I don't think she can speak very well.
Mostly Tim trying to diverse the Scottish accent.
It's that deep
Doing a
chested.
very piss poor job of it.
It's pretty good compared to our rest of us. Deep chest.
Aye.
We would be happy to help you with undead people killing. I think that's what you mean.
I'm going to stop you there because it's not what I mean. No, we have been fighting undead. That's true. However, the creatures that bear this triangular mark are not undead, but devils themselves.
Ooh. Sounds spicy.
We met some incestuous twins.
I don't
You,
really need to know about your proclivities.
Yeah,
But
we didn't really want to know either, but it was forced upon us. But they had this branding seared into their skin.
She danced with them. I
She
got kissed by
Danced
one,
with them. She kissed them.
nearly died.
Mhm.
And
I mean,
everybody else just carnage.
Are you
Carnage.
sure that they're like an enemy, like the devil, or is it just like a sex cult?
they're quite literally fiends.
Sexy.
Fiends.
Fiends.
Fiends from the nine hells, sent here
Where's that?
to torture us. It is an adjacent plane to our own.
Why are they coming here? Why for you?
Not-
Why for
not-
you?
Well,
Not for us, but they seem to be summoned by the crater. It's over the Shadow Mounts. That's where they're
Oh.
emanating from, and they're bolstering, they're working with the undead that have been
When did
our bane for centuries.
the problem start getting worse?
Last few months.
Did it have anything to do with the big Starbucks-looking cup falling from the sky?
I don't know what a Starbucks is, but no, there was no cups involved.
That wasn't
More,
what's-
it was fiends bolstered by the undead that have murdered my fellows.
What-
Unfortunately, we've lost a majority of our encampments, and we are down to this final stronghold. We are all that's left of the House of Sin.
Are the Shadow Mounts full of these demons? Is that why you're camped out here?
Traditionally, the Shadowmounts have been the purview of the Goliath king and queen.
That didn't answer my question. Are the mountains full of demons?
Well, the Volcath and Yaktor seem to be keeping everything at bay. They take the brunt of things. They are built for Volcath and Yaktor. You know, Volcath, Spine Shatter, and Yaktor, Ettenbane, Tronolican.
This is Jim's ancestors.
Wait, Jim's ancestors?
Jim's ancestors. You're gonna have a grand ancestor who's
Wait, what?
in very good company.
Wait, Demi Deep Chest isn't Jim's ancestor.
No,
that's his future sister.
Not relative, surely, not future. Sister.
Volcraft and the other
Don't say it
one.
like that, Alice. That's weird when you say it like that.
I did not say anything remotely weird.
He-
I'm sorry.
do you say this? Do you say this in character?
Wait, is Deep Chest a guy? I thought it was a...
No, it's woman.
Demi
Okay,
Deep
okay.
Chest is not a relative of Jim.
No, you're talking about the
Canon.
Volcath and the other one.
Yeah, Volkath, the actor.
Oh, Yakult.
Yeah, cool.
Yakult Jemima Jalam.
You have a grandsister.
I hate you all. And I hate this game. Game's
Deep
dumb.
Chest.
Probably go find Yakult Jalama Jam.
Yeah, Colt Pajama Jams.
How
Yeah, I
how can we help you?
Yeah, and also Deep Chest. Are you aware that one of your deep chests has been desecrated? Can't even say it.
Sorry, what?
What are you saying?
Say that again, Alice.
Are you aware of what?
One of your chests has been desecrated.
Sorry, what?
What?
We broke Alice. We did it. We broke somebody besides Tim. Well done.
I'm actually crying over Deep Chest. And one of the rooms that within 60 feet has been desecrated. Do you know anything about that? Is that
Hey.
normal?
Yeah,
Why is that
it's weird.
funny?
It's like
Because
one
I
of,
said one of your deep chests has been desecrated. Realize how dumb it was.
Aye, that's where the fiends and the undead broke through. They set up a wee holding place there and scrawled on the floor a summoning circle, and we cannot get rid of it, so we've sealed it up.
Have you tried painting over it?
No, funnily enough, we not tried painting over it because we didn't think it would do any fucking good.
Well, you don't even try.
Would painting over it.
It's a big magical circle. I don't think splashing a bit of Dulux over it would make any difference.
Well,
What's Dulux?
Maybe I'll have a go.
Dulux is a goblin servant.
Would a wizard know?
I don't know. Have you got one?
Kind of.
Don't know.
In a
Be
way.
asked that all the time.
Kind of.
Just so you
Jury's
know,
out.
we've got 1 minute on here.
Well,
Less than a minute.
I feel like we've got maybe a bit more questions than is perhaps appropriate for this room. So let me take you up to the war room. Maybe we can discuss this a bit further, eh?
The ballroom.
We asked you how can we help and you still haven't answered.
No, that's why I'm going to take you up to the war room so we can discuss this a bit more privately.
Okay, back on hand. Let's get the dead man's boyfriend on the boat.
Yes. Let's do that.
On the boat.
I'll write the letter.
Yes, somebody else should.
Pip, can you roll an intelligence check? And Chad, can you roll an intelligence check with disadvantage?
This
Yeah,
is
of course.
the time I've rolled.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Oh. Nice.
Chad, what do you get?
I got an 8.
8. Okay. Anyway, roll
I'm
your intelligence check.
open my computer. Sorry, what was I doing? Intelligence. I rolled a 6.
Okay.
And my intelligence is -1.
So 7. So we've got an 8 and a 7.
No.
Go for it.
No,
-1.
6 minus 1.
Oh,
is
6, sorry, 5. Yeah. So you got an 8 and a 5. Right. Chad, what do you want to do?
I'm so lost. You shouldn't ask me what we should do.
Pip wants you to re-summon Golda's Speedy Courier.
Oh, okay. Yeah. To bring back her fanfic lover. Yes.
True.
I do it. So I send Chad the 4th Senior the Fifth.
That's not how that works at all. Definitely
His
not how it works.
Jester.
It might. I mean, the last time I did it, I summoned the dragon, the Bifrost, and the weird little Voldemort. So, yes.
True. So what do you do now?
I cast it, and I hand the note that summons whatever we're
No, what note?
summoning. The the note
Nope.
that you put in the box.
There's not a note that comes with it.
There.
You put items into the box, but it doesn't come with a note. So you've now summoned this this thing, which is hovering in front of you, which will last for another 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to switch over the note that I used last time, because that
Okay.
still exists, right?
Nope.
Nope.
It went back with the box.
It's okay.
Okay, well then-
I have parchment on me. I can just use that.
Okay, well, that's better than me just putting the guy back in the box. So, yes, use your parchment to write a note to bring his lover back to him, and then we'll have saved the day. Right?
I'll
So
go.
we're bringing the man here rather than sending him back.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
all right.
They just want to die.
Together.
Same at this
So
point.
maybe send
He
Voldemort
wants-
back to his friend.
Tim brought him here for
I'm
a
just-
reason.
So
I'm
no, I
just worried
didn't.
about
I did not bring him here.
I'm just really worried about Voldemort hanging out with clerics who kill undead for a living.
Well,
Um,
I'm worried about sending Voldemort back and getting lost. We won't ever know.
Pip, what do you write?
I write, it's Pip. Friend is here. Get in box. Don't pick up note.
Love Chad.
And then I put the arrow back up at the top.
Roll a persuasion check for me, please.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. You put the note in the box, close the box,
Mhm.
the thing disappears. You wait for like 30 seconds, and a box reappears at Chad's feet as per last time.
Chad opens the box.
You open the box, there is a folded piece of paper inside.
Chad reads the paper.
It says, "It's too small. I can't fit inside."
That was so tense.
Oh.
It's basically like Romeo and Juliet. You know, the last scene when she writes, "It's too small. I'm not going to kill myself."
I'm glad you didn't say, "It's too small. I can't fit inside."
And we'll end the episode there.
Um,
We'll end the
hard
whole
cut.
series here. We just won't keep going.
And we delete our YouTube channel and
You'll never hear
Roll the
anything
film.
again.
Roll the film.
roll it tape.
Roll this.
Wow. I mean, that worked. I understand now why we had to do an intelligence check.
Yep.
Should we do another one? Should we go again?
He's not got enough spell slots to do it again.
Right.
Not got enough stamina.
Well, we tried.
He's all used out. And at this point, you just hear
It's been a busy day.
you just hear like the impatient footfall of Dementile's heavy boot on the floor. She's tapping and waiting your response as you fucked around for the last couple of minutes.
What did she ask us?
To come to the war room several times.
Okay, I'm gonna go with deep chest.
Okay, sure you are.
I'm going to go over to Voldemort's corpse and go and whisper in the way that I saw his boyfriend do, and just go, I think, hey buddy, you should come with us. You're probably safer with us.
Roll a persuasion check.
Hey, does Moksha follow you?
Mm-hmm.
I follow him with ale.
Ale.
Enunciate.
I can't wait to understand what this means.
You don't want to.
I got a 15 on my persuasion check.
Okay.
And then I'm going to, excuse me, Mrs. Deep Chest, is the war room upstairs?
Lady Deep Chest, and yes. What? Damn it! Hey, you all.
Why would you name her Deep Chest, Tim?
You know what you're doing.
I generally don't know what I'm doing. I was like, la 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 la. That sounds like a dwarven name. Job done.
Are
She's from
there
under the mountain in the mines, and they love treasure.
They love chess.
Deep chest. Job done.
This
could've
is
called
Todd
her-
Lovesack.
I could have called a gem cave.
Fucking word.
That's weird.
Ever call anyone gem cave?
I would have got that.
Damn it!
Deep chest.
Are we doing D&D?
Yes!
Moving on swiftly.
A whole bunch of them. I've got Crag Sword, I've got Rune Basher,
Don't. Gonna make
Honor
it worse.
Rock, Shatterforge,
Don't-
Brick
Hang
Mantle,
on.
Snow Guard,
Hang on. Stop. Crack sword.
Crag Sword.
And you led
think-
with deep chest.
I think we should not look into any of these
Yes.
names anymore.
We're never going to get sponsored.
We're never going to get to the end of the story. We're never going to get to the war room.
8%.
Listen, I have an important question. Lady Deep Chest, are the stairs up to the war room big enough for a horse to walk up them?
Yes.
Great. Clip clop. Come on.
However,
Read it to
horses cannot walk down steps.
No, that's cows.
It's also horses.
I'm Googling it.
Alice, where are
Those
you
are
from?
Google. Oh,
Yes.
but not downstairs.
Horses can walk downstairs.
Not in this world. Not in this world.
Fine. Clip clop. Stay here.
He's also got arthritis.
Oh, Clip clop. I'm so sorry.
We had to lower the tone.
So you go upstairs, the war room.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yes.
So it is a map of Mistfield. It's mostly detailed the Shattermounts, which is in like a semi-crescent. Doesn't quite go all of the 180-degree arc, but does go like a big majority of it, and then has got this big sphere in the middle, which is a crater, and then there are multiple marks all pinpointed on there of different colours, and there doesn't seem to be a key. There's no labels or anything, but it very much looks like a war map. She goes over to one side of the table and puts her gauntleted fists down on the table and addresses you. So, I understand that you are brought here against your will. However, as I said before down below, we seem to have a common enemy. Ones that
Just
have marked
to
you.
clarify, I came here on purpose. Just for honesty between us all.
Sure, no worries, but at the time when I was addressing your other 4 compatriots, I'm glad that you've got reinforcements here, because you'll need them. Understand that you've had an encounter with this group of people, eh? No? Yeah, aye?
Nothing.
I mean, you weren't addressing me, so
We've encountered several people who've had either this mark or necklaces that.
So apparently they call themselves the Risen.
We heard that before.
I can't tell you.
I know, I'm not asking you to.
Isn't that where Mike got possessed? When she went in the coffin.
No,
did Mike get possessed?
Yeah,
no,
when
that was with her god.
Oh, in the
Yes, God.
sex
Yeah.
church.
Yes,
got
correct.
leather armor thanks to him.
Indeed, yes.
I forgot what I was going to ask. The ones that wear, not the branded, but the ones that wear the necklaces.
Followers.
Are they the
Yep.
Risen?
Pip, didn't you mention something about Elspeth and the Risen?
Yeah. Yep. I mentioned that. I
She
mentioned that
She's
she's had.
attacked or something by them, right?
Yeah, she mentioned to me that she was attacked by a group of people called the Risen, and I remembered it.
It's a
So-
good job you did.
Aye, it seems like you've had a few encounters and that you've been cursed by the Risen. They've been, I'm not going to lie, they have ruined our defences across the Shadowmounts. We're the only last bastion left before they can swarm into the rest of the Mistfields. The Tronana-Lalkin twins have got their hands full with the undead and also their infighting. Were there any mercenaries left of any kind of repute to keep these
Is that-
back?
When you say the Banana Jolkin twins, is that Volkath and Yakult?
Aye,
So they're like the main defense.
and have been for decades, even centuries. Yeah, the Goliaths have been taking the brunt of the forces that have come from the Creator.
So why do you think they would fail now if they've been able to do it for centuries?
Because we've been basically reduced down to a very small proportion of what we used to be.
We ask you for like no offense, okay, child, remember, but we ask you like the 5th time. How can we help you? What would you like from us?
You're going to have to take the fight to the Risen and beat them back. Alternatively, you can join the Tronala-Lalkin and fight against the undead.
For centuries, we haven't got time to do that.
No, we haven't got the... They've
We've
been
got-
maintaining a wall, but that has just been the status quo. We need something to change the balance.
Like what?
Like you,
We can change the balance.
maybe.
Well,
We've
Maybe-
got dragons and foxes and
We don't have
zombies.
dragons.
you
Yeah,
know,
I don't think you've got dragons or foxes, but...
I said boxes.
Oh, boxes.
Kind
Okay.
of dragon.
Well,
Hey.
croco dragons and
Yeah, we've got
foxes
dragon.
Dragons.
and
Yeah.
yes.
And one horse.
If you're able to
And
summon
one
people from
horse.
across the plains and also create these monstrous creatures from nothing, I imagine you're quite powerful.
You're
I
right,
feel
we
like-
are very powerful.
you should lower your expectations with us.
Don't listen to this 7-year-old.
Unfortunately,
And Mike is with us. I don't even know who she is.
we're rather desperate at this point. We're barely holding on to this keep. We need someone to get out there and actually take the fight to them.
We would like to help you, and we would also like your help saving the world in general, because we only have how many days left? 300 and
You have currently
8?
336.
336. We only have 336 days before the end of the world anyway.
Until we stop the end of the world, let's start with this positive thinking that we've been talking about.
Out of character, we spent like 20 episodes dicking around, and we're still at over 300, so I think we're all right.
We'll find out.
Uh-oh.
Did I forget to mute Tim on that? I'm sorry.
Hey, so it's up to you. If you think you need to save the world, we're barely holding on by our fingernails.
No, we want to help you.
I feel
Well,
like
like,
helping
this
you
could
might
be
help
part
us
of it.
in turn to save the world. So it feels linked.
We can hold down the fort here if you don't want to take the fight to them. We can't really offer you much.
You can. If we do help you, will you give Chad the goat gun?
Roll a persuasion check.
It's a good shout.
A gun.
Very intrigued by the sound of a goat gun.
16.
And also give yourself inspiration for negotiating a goat gun. Hey,
Nice.
No,
if you promise me you'll go out into the wilds, into the crater, we'll give you our most powerful weapon we got in our stores.
What if we promise you to do that, but then on the way we get distracted by something else and decide something else instead?
It's a strong
we
possibility.
keep it then?
If you're going towards the crater, there's going to be nothing else to distract you.
You again lower your expectations.
No, I guarantee it's a barren wasteland full of undead and death.
That hasn't stopped us before.
We've been
Well-
called that before.
Do you know why the Risen would want to kill someone who was looking into deities and gods and a potential second cataclysm? Do you know why they would want to stop someone doing that?
So there's a very old looking dwarf that starts to creak and shuffle in a seat. Has been in this war room this entire time that you just haven't noticed. And he kind of grunts as he gets out of his seat, and in the way that we all do nowadays, where we're just like 1, 2, 3, and he just stands up onto his sandaled feet and shuffles over in his sandals and dark grey robes. Hi, I know what you're talking about.
Do tell.
Oh, well, usually I get shouted down before I can impart any knowledge upon you.
I
But-
would love to.
The Risen and the Undead and the deities are all linked. And you can see that Demental Deep Chest kind of rolls her eyes as if she's heard this 1,000 times before. However, he carries on. My theory is that I think that they need to eradicate all sense of the original gods of this world and instate themselves as the new pantheon here in the Mistfield. Only then can they operate true power and dominance over this world. They've seen a flaw or a chink in the armor of this world, and they've come here to place themselves as the new gods. However, they're all evil.
If they go around being evil, how are they then going to convince people that they're the new gods?
By their worshippers being the only ones left.
And how do they get people to worship them?
They all have their different ways and machinations. The undead worship the undead god without question, because they're undead. They're mindless zombies. The Risen worship their demon. Josh, did you just like take one headphone off and then just cough into your microphone?
The maximum.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was trying to cough away from
Just
it.
like moved it like further into your mouth. Sorry.
Is there any chance people with like weird kinks worship sex gods that live in temples on a swing?
He furrows his brow, and Demental just goes, "Look, there's very tangible reasons why we need you to fight with us, and listening to all this gobbledygook, it doesn't matter one way or the other. If they are indeed worshipping gods, or if they're just mercenaries out there, it matters not. We need
It
you.
matters to us.
We need you to cut them down and free this land."
We will if you just let the man finish his story.
Yeah, we. What has that got to do with space rocks falling from the sky?
Both of them now kind of look questioning at each other, and the old sage type dwarf goes, "Hey, I've not really heard of anything like that."
Do I get the sense that they're on the level?
Roll an insight check, please.
14 plus nothing.
14 plus nothing. You think that Deep Chest genuinely doesn't know, but you kind of catch a tremor from the old sage man. Maybe he knows a little bit more than what he's laying on.
And they're both clerics.
No, it looks
What?
like the deep chest is like a fighter or a barbarian or some martial knight, but he is robed in vestments, so he's some kind of like old person or wise man.
He's an old person.
He's just an old person. Cool.
Maybe some kind of crazy man.
I'm just going to show him my arm.
He shuffles up to it and just grabs your arm, like
Okay,
wrist and elbow, and stares at it.
Be careful,
Yeah.
short old man. But sure.
It seems to be ticking down to something.
Yeah, we think it's the end of the world, and the only person who knew anything that could help us is being hunted by these people that you're asking us to help fight.
He again looks like he hasn't really acknowledged what you've been saying and just stares at the counting down numbers. It's about this time that a klaxon, familiar to everybody else apart from Pip and Chad, a klaxon similar to when Chad stole the crossbow from the war room. From the weapons locker, and immediately everybody he lets go of your arm. Everybody else stiffens up, and they all start running out of the room.
Anybody know what that klaxon means?
We don't think it's good.
Specifically said that I don't, so I don't know what that means.
Okay. Because you've never heard it before, Chad.
I'm still waiting for this guy to react to my arm.
He's run out of the room.
Oh, okay.
What happened last time the klaxon went?
Everybody left the war room and has run out into the corridor.
I'm gonna follow our new little friends.
If I remember right, the klaxon went off because Chad broke into the room to get the goat gun.
Correct.
Okay.
Does anyone have eyes on Regina?
No, you left her down in the mess hall.
Could they be stealing the goat gun? I say we go after them. We follow people out.
When you run out into the corridor outside the war room, instead of going back down towards where the mess room was, they're going up to a place that you've not been before.
We should definitely follow them.
We go up. Yeah, definitely.
So when you follow
Blindly.
do you all go?
Yeah.
I'm making
Okay.
sure that Ghost Man is coming with me.
Oh, you left him down in the mess hall.
Oh, I thought I persuaded him to come up.
No,
Oh.
he stayed downstairs.
Probably should get him. Put him on the back of the snake.
There's a tiny 3-foot man on the back of his leg. As you break upstairs, you go up like a spiral staircase, and you feel it getting colder and colder until you get to a long corridor. You feel about 30 to 40 feet down this long corridor. It's narrow enough to funnel any potential invaders down into a single file, making it very easy to defend this keep, because you can just pick them off one by one and clog up the entryway. However, it's free of people. You can see the last of the dwarf guards exiting out, and you can see this bright white light and a bunch of snow pouring in to the entrance. As you run down the corridor and exit out, you are indeed at the foot of these giant mountains. And on the exterior, you see this giant horde of zombies marching towards the entrance to the keep. And we'll call it there.
Holy shit!
Zombie horde.
So, let's take my players: Ellie, Josh, Annie, Khalil, and Alice. If you'd like to plug your social media, now's an amazing time to do so.
At Ellie Bav.
At MCM Josh.
And Annie_squirrel.
This came in on the last episode when I had a crossbow, so let's cross our fingers that I get a crossbow again. Nightcat at Chad the Impaler.
You don't deserve that, though.
That's pretty cool. I'm at ALUCY.
Don't I?
And I'm at MCM_2.
Oh, okay.
Remember, if you don't want to, just stay home. Stay safe.
Stay alert.
do something at home.